近づいてきたのは君の方なのに、今さら逃げるつもりか？
Cafeteria. On Sunday, you and Artem head to an extremely popular and often fully booked restaurant close to the CBD to meet his junior high school friend and currently professional car racer, Martin. You see a man the same age as Artem stand up as soon as you enter, and he excitedly greets you both.
おい、左京、こっちだこっち。
Seeing Martin's waving hands, Artem nods slightly in greeting and walks over with your hand in his.
久しぶりだな。
確かに。前回会った時はお前まだお一人様だったのに。今はもうこんな素敵なお嬢さんを見つけやがって。
As Martin teases Artem, he also turns to you with a smile. Just like Artem said, Martin has a very outgoing personality.
はじめまして。俺は相葉大和。こいつとは中学のクラスメートだったんだ。
Hello, I've heard a lot about you. Artem also mentioned you to me before.
ほう。左京大先生は一体どんな風に俺のことを紹介したんだ？
You never expected Martin to be so straightforward and are at a loss for words. Seeing this, Artem speaks up to help.
そういえば、相葉はいつもこの時期大会に出ていたはずだが、今年はどういった風の吹き回しだ？
別に大した理由じゃないさ。最近は根を詰めすぎてたし、羽を休めることにしたんだ。そしたら、ちょうどステラス主催の交流試合からプレゼンターのオファーが来てな。こうしてここに座ってる。
An exhibition rally? Hearing these words, Artem's expression seems to shift, but he soon recovers and smiles as he explains to you.
実はステラ市では定期的にアマチュアのレーシング大会が開催されているんだ。もちろん参加者は全員プロのレーサーじゃない。だがこれまではずっと夏に開催していたはずだ。今年だけ前倒しになったのか？
Artem moves his gaze to Martin.
そうなんだよ。数ヶ月も前倒しになったもんだから、エントリーが始まったのも昨日の今日なんだ。当然、左京は前回大会のチャンピオンなんだし、今回も参加するよな。
What? Artem had been in a racing competition before? You knew that Martin was a professional racer, but you had no idea Artem also participated in competitions. Sensing your surprise, Artem softly squeezes your hand under the table.
前回の大会に出場した時はまだ君と付き合っていなかったから、わざわざ言うことでもないかと思っていたんだ。
Hearing him say this, you can't help but recall that you and Artem were still normal co-workers back then. You didn't know much about his private life, and he is not someone who loves to broadcast what he's done. And now, you are at least 10 times closer than before.
だぐ、それならちょうど彼女さんもいるし、今のうちに確認でも取ったらどうだ？
While you're recalling the past, Martin has already moved to the next topic. Ask me about what? Martin winks at Artem, looking like he's ready for some drama.
この大会には非公式のルールがあるんだ。レーサーは事前に家族の同意をもらわなければならないというね。
Really?
私が大会に出場するのを同意してくれるか？
He looks at you and asks softly. His eyes are glittering with infinite brilliance under the restaurant's lights. Legally, you are not truly family. But you understand why he is asking you. He is trying to tell you that you are already an indispensable part of his life. Of course you can. In fact, you sense that Artem's interest was piqued as soon as Martin mentioned the exhibition rally. He must be eager to participate.
ありがとう。
Artem takes the tablet that Martin hands over to him. The registration page for the competition is displayed there. While Artem is filling in the registration form, Martin tells you about how Artem is on the racetrack.
お嬢さん、絶対信じてくれないと思うけど、ハンドルを握る作業は今みたいにクールなやつじゃないんだぞ。
What's he like on the racetrack? You've definitely never seen Artem in a race car. When he was speeding before, he didn't seem very different from normal.
こいつは
Martin quickly glances at Artem, then puts up a mysterious expression.
知られざる本性をちょっぴり見せたり見せなかったり。ほらだってアドレナリンがドバドバ出るような状況じゃ人間の欲望は際限なく膨らんでいくもんだろ。
A hidden aspect of his personality, magnified desires. Hearing Martin's words, you can't help but feel curious about what Artem will be like at those breakneck speeds.
相場。
Probably concerned that Martin is going to sound more outrageous the more he talks, Artem finally speaks up.
はいはいもう言わないよ。ま、百聞は一見にしかずってやつだから。
After Artem fills in the registration, Martin receives an important phone call and has to leave.
すまん、外せない用事が入ったからさ。次はまたレース場で会おうぜ。
ああ、またレース場で。
Artem's bedroom. Since Artem will be participating in an exhibition rally, he needs to go to the racetrack a week earlier for special training. You were planning to go with him, but if you both take time off, then the firm's daily work might be affected. Therefore, after some discussion, you decide to have Artem go first and you will simply go on the weekend to watch the race. It seems like this is the first time we'll be away from each other for this long since our relationship started. Hearing this, Artem puts down the clothes he is about to place into his suitcase and pulls your hand to his lips for a soft kiss.
私と離れたくないのか？
You nod numbly as he sees through your worries. It just won't feel the same. After all, you have spent almost every minute of every day together, and you've grown used to each other's company.
その日の特訓が終わるたび、こちらへ戻ってこよう。そうすれば、またいつも通り毎日会える。
No, that's too exhausting for you. Though the track is in Salis, it is very far from the city center. A one-way trip is 3 hours by car. It would be far too much to go back and forth every day. You refute this suggestion almost instinctively. Artem also seems troubled and frowns, and you can't help but reach out to smooth his brow. It's okay. It's not that we can't contact each other. Besides, we'll both be busy during the day. 5 days will pass by in a flash. Though you say this, you are wondering whether you can get off work one day early to go see him. Seeing that you're determined, Artem doesn't insist anymore either. He just softly brushes back the hair hanging over your forehead and sighs.
毎日電話する。
Deal. Law firm. Thursday arrives in the blink of an eye, and Artem's special training also nears its end. For the past few days, you've been rushing at work as much as you can, finally managing to finish work one day early. This way, I can see Artem tomorrow. Just as you are feeling happy, your phone starts to vibrate. It's Artem calling you. He rarely calls me right on the hour. You answer the call and his familiar voice sounds in your ear, closing the distance between the two of you.
私だ。仕事は終わったか？
Just about ready to pack up. What about you? Is everything going well?
ああ。今日の特訓も全部終わって、万事順調だ。それから、今私がいるところの景色がすごく綺麗なんだ。レースが終わったら、君と一緒に見たい。
Perhaps due to how you're hearing him over the phone, you can't help but feel that Artem's voice right now sounds rather intimate. That would be great. I'm looking forward to it. He could have said that once I got to the racetrack.
ああ、まあ、それだけなんだが。それじゃあ、帰りは気をつけて。
Okay, you too. Don't exhaust yourself. Artem doesn't reply. After a few seconds, you seem to hear the sound of his breathing through the phone. Artem?
なんでもない。ただ、私は自覚していた以上に、君のことを恋しく思っているようだ。
Maybe it's because you've been together for so long, but you rarely hear Artem confess how much he misses you these days. Actually, I've missed you too.
ああ、そろそろ時間だ。私も戻らないと。
Okay, take care. We'll see each other soon. Restaurant preparation area. The next day, you take the earliest bus to the racetrack and leave your luggage at the reception to have an easier time seeing Artem. Since you contact Artem before, you know he should be at the car wash zone right now. However, no wonder this is Stylish biggest restaurant. Just in terms of the car wash area, it has 12 zones on its own. You have no choice but to look for Artem in all of these zones, from the closest to the farthest. Just as you are about to reach the end of the restaurant, you suddenly see a familiar figure. Artem is holding a high-pressure hose under the sun, his expression intense as he examines the engine of the rally vehicle in front of him. His soft hair dances in the wind and the corners of his lips are tilted upwards, as if washing the car is really a fun activity. Perhaps fearing that washing the car would dirty his clothes, he specifically put on an outfit different from his usual. Those marks under the vest, could they be from last time? I didn't expect them to linger for so long. I hope no one noticed. Atom's arm muscles seems to be firmer than the last time I touched them. I can't wait to test how they feel. You withdraw your gaze and approach Artem, one step after another. Just as you're about to reach him, he senses something and looks up. The moment your gazes meet, a hint of surprise is clear in Artem's eyes, like dazzling light reflected off a lake's surface.
どうして君がこっちへ来るのは明日のはずじゃ。
The intense emotional reaction for Artem, who is usually reserved, makes you happy. Tomorrow's the competition. As a family member, shouldn't I be here one day earlier to cheer you on?
家族。
Those two words seems to take Artem by surprise. He repeats them to himself in a low voice, the corners of his lips curling upward.
ああ、そこで待っていてくれ。すぐに片付けるから。
No, you keep working. I'll head over to help. Tomorrow is the competition. You don't want your arrival to affect Artem in any way whatsoever.
また、こっちは汚れがひどいし、そこらに水たまりもある。
Before he can finish, you step into the flowing water and the white foam on the surface gathers around your shoes. The expression on his face changes from surprise to helplessness and finally settles on pleasure. His gaze is burning when your eyes meet his.
最初の一歩を踏み出したのは、君の方だからな。
Eh? While you are still recovering from your shock, Artem puts on the high-pressure water hose and walks quickly towards you, then envelops you in a gentle hug before you realize what is going on. Perhaps due to his daily training, his whole person seems rather unfamiliar, and he exudes a kind of attraction unlike before. Even his action seems more passionate than before. His lips tickle your neck, spreading heat wherever they touch. You obey your innermost desires and hug him back. You can't help but shiver when the imagined form of his body is finally within the reach of your fingertips. Artem. We're outside. The sounds of chatting float up from the car wash area, and you remind him of your location in a low voice.
近づいてきたのは君の方なのに、今さら逃げるつもりか？ もう少しこのままで。後でホテルに送ろう。
Hearing that he wants to take you back to the hotel, you raise your head in objection and blurt out your thoughts. I don't need dress and I don't want to go back to the hotel. Arthur smiles and loosens his embrace. His eyes are smiling as he helplessly tucks 3 strands of hair behind your ears.
なら、君の希望を聞こう。
However, before you can say I want to wash the car with you, you are interrupted by a commotion. Seems like someone has accidentally let go of their hose. The out-of-control hose instantly turns into a writhing water snake, drenching you two in the spraying water. Amidst the chaos, Artem covers you and drags you to a safe area away from the artificial rain. He keeps you within his arms during the commotion and guards you against the water.
大丈夫か？どこか怪我はないか？
I'm fine. You are protecting me after all. It's just that my top got a little wet.
それならよかった。
Artem sighs softly and looks over the scene as he frowns.
ホテルに戻って着替えよう。
Okay. Hotel. The organizers specifically booked single suites for the participating drivers. Signs of Artem's everyday life are everywhere in this suite, probably due to him having already stayed here for a few days. His laptop, tablet, and the books he usually reads. These ordinary items are giving you a strange sense of familiarity as if you've returned home. However, when you move your gaze back, you suddenly recall something important. Oh no, my luggage is still at the reception. That means you don't have any clothes to change into. Artem smiles when he hears this. He turns and opens the wardrobe and takes out his own clothes.
大丈夫だ。ひとまず私のものでしのげばいい。
Oh.
先に着替えるといい。風邪をひくと大変だ。
You nod and Artem puts the clothes next to the bed. He then turns and softly helps you close the door. You fumble and put on Artem's clothes. The shirt is very long and covers your thighs. It looks fine on Artem, but it's so big on me. It's almost covering my skirt.
着替え終わったか？
Yeah, I'm done. I'm coming out now. You walk out of the bedroom and find that Artem has taken off his sweatshirt and the smooth line of his muscles are exposed to the air. The ends of his hair are still dripping with water. You recall that he was totally exposed to the water hose in order to protect you back then. Seeing you here, Artem smiles and passes you a cup of steaming ginger tea.
ジンジャーティーを入れたから、熱いうちに飲むといい。
You take the tea, but you can't just ignore the fact that Artem is walking around with you shirtless. Artem, why haven't you changed into new clothes? It seems like Artem only realized he isn't wearing a shirt after you asked this question.
すまない。完全に忘れていた。さっきシャワーを浴びようと脱いだんだが。
But you got distracted with making the ginger tea and forgot to take a bath. Artem is going to rest tomorrow. He can't catch a cold. Perhaps sensing your worry, Artem gently caresses your face.
大丈夫。今日はそこまで気温は低くない。少しくらい平気だ。
Seeing that Artem doesn't seem to care, you put down the ginger tea and turn on the bathtub faucet using the remote control, urging Artem to take a bath. Do go and take a bath.
少し待ってくれ。さっきフロントに電話したから、もうすぐ君の荷物が届くはずだ。
No, you're going to rest tomorrow. If you catch a cold and it negatively affects your score, that won't be worth it. Just as Artem is about to push into the bathroom, you hear the sound of knocking.
きっとホテルスタッフの人だ。私が出てくるから、君は奥で待っていてくれ。
Seeing that he's about to head out shirtless, you instinctively grab his hand.
どうかしたか？
Can you honestly head out dressed like that? I'll go answer the door.
待て。すぐに服を着るから。君はここで待っていてくれ。
Artem grabs your wrist instead and stops you from taking another step. Artem. He swiftly takes out a shirt from the wardrobe, then goes to the door. Perhaps being considerate of how you are also in the room, he only opens the door a crack.
おいおい、左京。さすがに出てくるのが遅すぎないか？どんだけ待たせるんだよ。
As soon as the visitor opens his mouth, you realize it's Martin, who you met at the restaurant. Artem ignores Martin's complaint and questions him bluntly.
どうして相葉がここに？
まったく、今日は最後の特訓をするって約束だったろ？なのにお前がコースにいないから、こうして来てやったんだ。あとさっきエレベーターを出たら、スタッフがお前宛ての荷物を届けようとしてたな。ついでに持ってきてやった。
ありがとう。だが先にコースの方へ行っててくれ。すぐに合流するから。
おやおや？左京よ。今日のお前なんか変だな。それに、このキャリーケースはどう見てもお前のもんじゃない。もしかして、彼女さんが来てるんじゃないのか？
Seeing that Martin guessed the truth, Artem admits it as well.
ああ、そうだ。だが、さっき洗車エリアでちょっとしたトラブルにあってな。今は外に出られないんだ。
Can't hang out? You look at how you are dressed from head to toe. Apart from the fact that you are wearing Artem's shirt, there's nothing inappropriate about your clothes. To be honest, it seems like Artem is the one who doesn't want to hang out.
なるほどな。しかし、前日入りするなんて、きっとお嬢さんは頑張って仕事を片付けたんだろうな。たく、お前は甘やかしすぎだろ。はいはい、わかったよ。お邪魔虫は先にコースに行ってますって。
あ、また後で。
Artem closes the door and softly lets Artem breathe with your luggage in hand. The originally dried clothes get wet again from the moisture on his body. You want to urge him again to take a bath, but he suddenly grabs your wrist and pulls you into his arms. What's wrong?
なんでもない。ただ、君が私の服を着ている姿を他の人に見せたくなかったんだ。
So that's why he made an excuse about not being in a position to meet. You rarely see Artem clearly expressing his possessiveness. You can't help but think how Martin said that car racing will demonstrate aspects of people's personalities that are not seen in their everyday lives. Can this be the hidden aspect of Artem's personality that he expresses when racing? He seems a little clingy. Well, he didn't see me, right?
はあ、
Why don't you go take a bath? I've already prepared the water for you. Artem does not leave as you try to get him to go away, but instead slowly nudges close to your ear.
君の服も濡れてしまっただろう。一緒に入らないか？
No, that's okay. I'll just swipe it clean. You lower your head and feel that your face is so hot that it's almost on fire. Artem has never voiced an invitation like this before. Is it also due to the racist influence? Yes, then the sounds of water can be heard from the bathroom like the constant waves over a restless sea, urging you on with a low rumble.
ほら、早く入らないと、私が本当に風邪をひいてしまう。
Hotel. Maybe because Artem's low whispers were too inciting, you find yourself confusedly agreeing to his request. Once you leave the bathroom, you suddenly feel the fatigue from the past few days flooding over you. You sit on the edge of the bed, exhausted. Artem kneels gently and picks up your still wet feet, props them up on his leg, and grabs a towel to help you dry them off. I'll do it myself. You instinctively lower your head and press on Artem's shoulder to stop him. The hair falling from your shoulders tangles with his own in an oddly intimate way.
じっとして。すぐに終わるから。
He skillfully redirects the pressure of your hands. His hands, fresh after a bath, are scorching hot as he softly presses on your feet and repeatedly rubs against them. Perhaps because that part of your body has rarely been touched in such an intimate way by someone else before, the strangeness of the sensation seems to be magnified. You bite down on your bottom lip to dissipate the sensations within you that are about to boil over. However, the intimate atmosphere continues to spread between you two, and Arthur noticed this too. Considering what happened in the bathroom, he clears his throat lightly and changes the topic.
明日の試合、私に勝ってほしいか？
Artem rarely asks about winning or losing. In your mind, he isn't someone obsessed with victory. But if you want to win, then I want you to win. You put your hands on Artem's surprised face and lock eyes with him. I value your happiness more than your victory. If winning will make you happy, then I want you to win. But if you're only enjoying the process, then I want you to obtain happiness from this race. It's because the most important thing to me is you and nothing else. So, can you please tell me what you're thinking? Artem softly removes himself from your hands. He bows slightly and his scorching lips touches your name. Artem, You instinctively push Artem's forehead away. He moves with you and lifts his head. His eyes are full of burning emotions.
参加することを選んだ以上、負けるつもりはない。
The blatant desire Artem is exhibiting toward victory exists a dangerous allure. Could this be the influence of the race as well? While you're still confused, Artem has already dried your fate. He tidies up a bit and looks at the watch on his wrist.
そろそろ時間だ。特訓に行ってくるよ。
You recall the conversation between him and Martin before, and you realize this is the final training session he has before the race. I'll go with you. Seeing that you are about to get up, Artem presses your hand down and tucks you into the blanket.
もうまぶたがくっつきそうじゃないか。今のうちに少し休んでおいた方がいい。ただ、君が前日入りするとは思わなかったから、今日は君の部屋を申請していないんだ。それに、明日はもう大会本番で、他に空き部屋もないだろう。すまないが、今日はここで。
It's fine. This room is great. I can feel you everywhere and it's reassuring. Stop overthinking. Go and do your training.
あ、それじゃ、おやすみ。
Artem tucks you in tighter and places a kiss on your forehead before he leaves.
目が覚めたら、私も戻っているはずだ。
Okay. After Artem leaves, the fatigue of doing intensive overtime for the past week gradually comes over you and you soon fall asleep. When you wake up again, the sky is already dark. The night lamp is on and Artem is preparing his gear for tomorrow's race.
おはよ
Seeing that you're awake, he puts down the gear and walks up to the bed. He then reaches out to tidy your messy hair for you.
う。お腹空いていないか。
You didn't originally feel hungry when you woke up, but now that he asks, you are feeling quite famished. You nod your head, admitting it.
部屋まで料理を運んでもらおう。もしくは、
Artem pauses for a few seconds, then continues.
レストランまで降りて食べるか。
Judging from Artem's behavior, you immediately guess that he doesn't want to dine out at all. Otherwise, he would have changed his outfit already. However, it's rare to see Artem like this. Since we're here already, why don't we go to the restaurant? I heard it has a pretty good rating. Let me go through my luggage to see what I should wear. However, before you can open the suitcase, Artem grabs your hand and hugs you from behind. Oh, what's the matter?
キャリーケースに詰めた服はシワが目立つだろうから、レストランには着ていけないはずだ。
Artem pauses without finishing the sentence. You wait for a long time, but he doesn't speak. Is Artem waiting for me to change my mind? Alright, I should listen to the one who's going to race tomorrow. You're right, then let's get room service tonight. Hearing this, Artem softly lets out a breath that he has been holding.
あ、レストランはまた今度一緒に行こう。
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a bit tired. Maybe we'll have room service today. Hearing your answer, Artem's eye instantly light up.
あ、すぐにメニューを取ってこよ
So he's happy to hear this. Artem takes the menu and sits down next to you. His heated skin is next to yours and you can't tell whose temperature is hotter.
う。このメニューはレストランと同じものだ。確か君の好きそうな料理がかなりあったはず。ああ、これとか。
Autumn gets into recommending dishes for you. You lean on his shoulder and look at him, feeling temporarily dazed. He obviously already has this prepared. Why did you ask me to pick? You can't just order for me. You know what I like anyway.
ああ、任せてくれ。
Racetrack. The day after you arrive at the racetrack together, different from how it was before, this place is now full of people with many cheering spectators as well as racers. The first place trophy is sparkling on the open air podium. Perhaps influenced by the environment, you can't help but feel excited and grab Artem's hand. Under his surprised gaze, you point toward the finish line and loudly promise him, I'll stand at the most visible place at the finish line, so you can see me immediately.
ああ、私は
Artem's voice is drowned out in the waves of cheering from the crowd. What did you say? You have to yell to make sure Artem can hear you. When he hears you, he leans into you slightly and speaks next to your ear, and his heated breath tickles at your skin.
私は君のために勝つと言っ
When he finishes talking, he leaves in your hands a simple headset with a microphone attached. What's this?
た。無線通信できるインカムだ。君を助手席に乗せてレースを体験させることはできないだろう。だがこれがあればより迫力が味わえるはずだ。
Great! As soon as you put on the headset, Martin also walks over. He had been invited as the award presenter.
サキョ頑張れよ。
ああ、
After playing an exciting piece of music, the announcement for racers to get to the preparation area can be heard throughout the racetrack.
じゃあ行ってくる。
Okay, I'll be waiting for you. As the signals light up, the race officially begins. The rally vehicle Artem is driving shoots out like an arrow. At first, everything goes smoothly. He passes every obstacle he meets with ease, but as the race enters its second half, two cars start to work together to block Artem, preventing him from overtaking them. You can hear Artem's breathing growing heavier in the headset. Artem. He is looking for an opportunity to shake them off, but they evidently do not wish for Artem to pass them, even if it means allowing other races to move ahead. If this keeps up, Artem might be held back by them until the end of the race.
そう卑怯だな。あいつらグルみたいだ。サキョを足止めして身内に優勝賞金をかっさらわせようって魂胆だな。
The situation Martin is describing is rare in formal competitions. However, in the Salus amateur race, the screening and limits posed for races are not as strict. Therefore, some racers may band together to compete as a group. They often block the racer who is most likely to win and get their victory this way. You originally thought these were rare cases you might only catch a glimpse of in the news. You never imagined you'd see it happening before your own eyes.
このまま妨害されたらサキョのやつも切れるんじゃないか。試合中に冷静さを失ったらやばいぞ。
As soon as Martin finishes speaking, you hear a sharp sound from the racetrack. The vehicle Artem is driving scraps against another car next to him. The metallic sparks together with a sharp noise make you jolt from the spectator stand. Then, what should we do?
サキョをどうにか落ち着かせよう。
Martin's brows are deeply furrowed together. The race has already started. Even if the organizers were to stop it, they would need time. And no one can guarantee what may happen in the meantime. You take the microphone and put it next to your mouth, then take a deep breath. I know talking to him without warning might affect Artem's performance, but you still turn on the microphone. Artem, can you hear me? Your voice is shaking as you call out to Artem. However, the only sounds responding to you are the roars of the engine and Artem's heavy breathing. Artem, if you can hear me, can you respond? Otherwise, I'll get worried. There's still no response from the headset. You watch the situation on the racetrack and feel a rising anxiety. Victory, the trophy, cheers, and exclamations. Everything is getting further away from you. The only thing left in your mind is you want Autumn to come back in one piece. The seconds silently tick by. You're not sure how much time has passed when you once again hear his familiar voice accompanied by slightly static.
安心してくれ。私は大丈夫だ。
Autumn, you only realize that your voice is shaking when you hear your own words. Perhaps your words are working on him. Autumn's vehicle steadies in speed and no longer dashes left or right. The opponent seems to believe that Autumn has given up. A few cars have already overtaken him, and he is unlikely to be crowned champion at this rate. Therefore, they relax in their maneuvers against him. Just then, the vehicles are about to enter a curve.
よく見ておけ。
Autumn's voice is drawn up by the roar of the rally vehicle. In mere seconds, he has perfectly overtaken the vehicles in front of him and once again returns to the head of the pack. This time, the cars behind can no longer block him. Resounding cheers rise throughout the track.
君のために勝つと言った。
You can hear Autumn's confident voice. You know he has returned to his calm self. Yes, I've always believed in you. The race continues and Martin breathes a sigh of relief. He then makes a call to the organizers to explain what happened. Soon, the racers who were blocking Artem were called off and disqualified.
あいつらアマチュア大会だからって好き勝手できると思うなよ。これで永久追放だ。ざまあみろ。
Martin is obviously very upset at what happened and only calms down after a long rant. He then quickly changes the topic.
にしても左京のやつ、あんたの言葉は素直に聞き入れるんだな。
That's not true.
いやいや、ちゃんと誇っていいんだぞ。レース中に挑発されるとすぐカッとなっちまうもんだからな。それでも左京が戻ってこれたってことは、あんたの言葉があいつにとってそれほど重いものってことだ。
You are surprised by what Martin said. After all, Autumn has always been a calm and self-assured person in your eyes. He won't easily get upset and act impulsively. I think that's because Autumn himself is just a calm person by nature.
いや、あのスピードで走ってたらいくらクールなやつだって理性っていう仮面が剥がれて本能をさらけ出すもんなんだよ。
Basic instincts. A deafening screech sounds in your ears at that moment. The rally vehicle Autumn is driving only has a short way to go before he reaches the finish line. It's almost here! The news of Autumn's imminent arrival immediately takes over your mind. You want nothing else than to immediately appear before him. As if he saw through your thoughts, Martin smiled softly like someone who has seen it all before.
言ってやれ。選手がゴールの瞬間に一番会いたい人は最愛の人だからな。
You nod at him, then squeeze through the crowds and the deafening roar to reach the most visible place near the finish line to wait for Artem. Finally, the car slowly grinds to a halt before you. Artem gets out in the blinding sunlight. Unlike his usual calm and calculated demeanor, he now looks unrestrained and carefree, and even the ends of his hair are shining with the bright lights. The rays seems to have freed an aspect of him that he has kept hidden all this time. The moment you lock eyes with each other, he has already walked in front of you and wrapped you in a side hug. Uh, the name that you don't get a chance to see is swallowed by his mouth. You feel your breath being taken away as the sounds of cheers slowly fade. You are surrounded by Artem's presence, and the only thing you can sense is the fierce sound of two heartbeats. You instinctively want to separate from Artem, but he only deepens the kiss. He finally lets you go after a long time, and the pads of his fingers softly rub at your lips. It feels like your skin is positively on fire. Why are all of a sudden?
これは私を止めてくれた。君へのお礼だ。
Even if it's a thank you gift, he didn't have to. However, before your thoughts from his voice, you two are drowned in the cheers that rise around you. Racetrack. Amidst the overwhelming cheers, you belatedly discover that the monitor displaying the live score shows that Artem won the race. Surrounded by people, he goes up to the podium to receive his award. As the award presenter, Martin hands over the trophy and places a bottle of champagne with a ribbon tied on it in Artem's hand.
コングラチュレーション、お前がチャンピオンだ。
ありがとう。
Before Artem can get off the stage, the surrounding spectators are already clapping and asking him to open the champagne to celebrate. Open the champagne? As people look at him expectantly, Artem does not open the champagne bottle. Instead, he walks towards you. He wraps you in his arms and guides your hand to grasp the bottle. Artem, what are you doing? With so many pairs of eyes fixed on you, you whisper your question to him, wondering what he intends to do.
優勝者がシャンパンを開けるのはレースの慣例で、祝福と喜びを象徴しているんだ。
Then why are you putting it in my hands? Arthur smiled at this. His warm breath lingers next to your ear, creating a soft shivers along your skin.
この優勝は私たち二人のものだから。君の呼びかけがなければ私は勝てなかった。
I just did what I had to do. Arthur smiles and grabs your hand, then shakes the champagne together with you. You feel that the liquid in the bottle is as turbulent as your heart.
それは奇遇だな。私も私のすべきことをしているだけだ。準備はいいか？
You lean into his embrace and nod softly. With a loud thud, the liquid frothing with white foam bursts from the bottle and pours toward the screaming spectators. Immediately after, the other racers also pop open their bottles and share their joys as well. The vibe of the race reaches a climax, yet Artem takes your hand and quietly departs the boisterous scene. Parking lot. He takes you to a parking lot full of race cars, and one of them looks very familiar. Isn't this the car you were watching before?
ああ、普段の特訓はこいつでやっていたんだ。
I thought you would drive it for the race as well, so you don't do that, huh?
大会本番は主催者側が用意した専用の車に乗るのがルールだからな。
He then opens the door on the passenger's side and gestures for you to get in. You put your hand on the door but are in no hurry to get in. Instead, you straighten his collar for him. Don't you have a celebratory dinner to go to soon? Wouldn't it be bad for the champion to live like this?
問題ない。 私にとっての大会はもう終わっている。ここからの時間は私たち二人のものだ。
It seems Artem doesn't plan on telling you what he is thinking in advance. You have no choice but to get in the car as he wishes. Sandy Meadow. He drives you to an area filled with artificial sand and coarse vegetation. It is an area prepared by the organizers for professional rally raid competitions. It isn't the racing season yet, therefore very few people have set foot here. Wild animals can be seen here occasionally as if this is a truly natural sandy meadow. Upon your arrival, the sun has already left its zenith. However, the sunlight is still warm as Artem lowers his head to look at his dress.
少し早すぎたか。
Early? You suddenly remember how Artem once called you right on the clock. Now that he is talking about arriving too early, you soon have an idea of what he wants to do. This is the place you told me about in the call and said you wanted to bring me to, right?
ああ、サプライズのつもりだったが、時間の計算を間違えてしまった。思ったより日の入りが遅いみたいだ。
Perhaps not anticipating such a miscalculation, Arthur looked slightly downtrodden. You can't help but walk up and lean against the vehicle with him, holding his hand. Then we can have a chat while we wait for the sunset.
ああ、そうしよう。
Both of you have been under intense pressure this week. You were engaged in doing as much work as you could to see Arthur early while he had been immersed in training. Now that the dust has settled and you can chat together alone, you can't help but feel very relaxed and the questions came naturally to you. I remember Martin saying, at those kinds of breakneck speeds, people's desire naturally get magnified. I thought he was exaggerating, but now that I've watched and listened to the race myself, I feel like what he said makes sense. When you were on the racetrack, did you only have the desire for victory left in your head? Artem looks at you and his sparkling eyes are as bright as the surface of the river far away.
否定はしない。エンジンの轟音と大量のアドレナリンに刺激されれば、そこには本能しか残らない。だが、
He pauses and seems rather confused, but his expression soon smooths out.
だが私にとって今回の大会の意味はそれだけじゃない。
What do you mean?
スタートダッシュを切った直後は確かに勝つことだけに集中していて、他の人のことは気にも留めなかった。
Artem stares at you as he slowly and calmly dissects his internal state during the race.
だがインカムから君の声が聞こえた。その瞬間、君の声は私にとってどれほどの重みを持っているのかを理解した。そして気づいたんだ。勝つことよりも私は君のそばに戻りたいと。だからこそ私は冷静さを取り戻せた。君が私の心のブレーキなんだ。
At that moment, you simply feel that the evening wind is gently brushing past your heart and bringing you a flickering sense of a fleeting light tickle. Artem's words are straightforward and frank. Compared to his usual reservation and restraints, he even seems vaguely confrontational. You can't help but remember all the things that have happened since he registered for the race. His positiveness and clinginess are returned to you, and another question positively jumped out. Is this the only change that car racing brings out in you? Sandy Meadow. Is this the only change that car racing brings out in you?
なぜそんなことを聞く？
Artem instinctively puts on a surprised expression. Do you remember how you gave me a choice regarding where we should have dinner in the hotel before the race?
レストランに行くか、部屋に届けてもらうかの、あれか？
Evidently, Attorney Wing hasn't forgotten about what happened on that day. Yes, so what were you really thinking of on that day?
君は、最初から私の気持ちに気づいて、わざとこんな言い方をしているんだな。
Artem smiles helplessly. However, he doesn't seem embarrassed after his plans were exposed. Instead, he sounds like he is complaining slightly.
あの時、私は君と二人っきりで部屋で食事をとりたいと思っていた。もしレストランに行けば、きっと多くの選手がいる。そうなれば、挨拶しなければならなかっただろう？君とはもう4日も会えていなかったんだ。せっかくの二人きりの時間を、誰にも邪魔されたくなかった。
Your act of frankly admitting your thoughts actually led Artem seize the initiative once again. Then why did you ask me to choose? He could have just said he wanted to eat in the room.
それは、私と一緒にいることで、君の気持ちを抑え込みたくなかったんだ。無理して合わせることなく、私との時間を自由に過ごしてほしいと。
It's not an inconvenience. Artem, our feelings are mutual. Even when it comes to something as small as having a meal, I hope we can make the choice together. Hearing this, Artem presses on your hand and slowly pulls it down, then places it into his palm.
だが、私の考えは別に食事がどうこうではなく、君を独り占めしたい。それだけだった。実は、ここ数日、私もわからないでいるんだ。君に対する独占欲は、最初から存在していたものなのか、それとも、今回のレースで体を巡ったアドレナリンのせいなのか。前回の大会では、私は勝つことしか考えてなかった。だが今回は、君への思いも強かった。その分、君に負担だと思われたら困る。だから私は、自分を抑制していた。
Artem, you struggle free from Artem's hand and once again put his cheeks in your hands. You then look up at him.
どうかしたか？
Nothing. I just want to tell you that it's normal for lovers to feel a certain degree of possessiveness toward each other. When you haven't been with me for a long time, I feel like I want to have you all to myself as well. So you don't need to hold back so much. Your vision suddenly swirls as Autumn places you to sit on top of the car hood. Oh! Startled, you hold onto Autumn's shoulder to stop yourself from sliding off the car. The two of you are so close to each other. As your breath mingles, the golden light of the sunset pours onto you, as if gilding you both with a soft layer of light.
相場の言う通りかもしれないな。君は私を甘やかしすぎだ。
Before you can respond, Autumn hugs your waist tight and his scorching breath is inches away from you. The tip of his nose almost brushes against your nose. The corners of his lips tilt up and a bold smile swims in his eyes.
君の言ったことがどういう意味なのか、ちゃんとわかっているのか？
Autumn raises his head a little and stares at you. His fringe moves with the wind and shields his ever darker eyes. You instinctively feel that some danger is approaching, but you are unable to run, nor do you want to. I know.
そんな答えを聞いた後に、私がまだ理性を保てると？
He moved closer without any forewarning. His warm breath is flickering next to the shell of your ear. Then his low, husky voice echoes in your ear.
君は君自身の影響力を甘く見すぎじゃないか？
It's a question voiced with a sigh and an audible restraint. Even his eyelashes are trembling adorably with how much he's suppressing himself.
このまま君の甘さに溺れてしまったら私は。
Arthur stopped himself and his bright eyes seemed with a hint of blatant desire. He grabs your hand tight and once again gets close to you. You two are so close that you can clearly hear each other's heartbeats. You can't help but want to caress his cheek, his burning skin, the reddening corners of his eyes. It's not just you who's drowning in this. You softly pull on his shirt and take the initiative to get close to his face. Didn't you say before that I'm your brake pedal? I'll stop you on time before you lose control. You feel the hand he has wrapped around you tighten due to your words. Everything seems to be heading towards him spinning out of control. But you have to say these words. That's the only way to dissipate Artem's worry and concerns. So, before I do that, you can do anything your heart desires. As if a difficult rally stage has just been conquered, Autumn's tense body starts to relax. He looks at you in silence and only slowly opens his mouth after a few seconds.
目を閉じてくれるか？
You slowly close your eyes and feel that the hand at your wrist is slowly moving up. Then his moist and heated lips slowly approaching, and his breathing starts to get more rapid. You feel for the first time that even the setting sun can be scorching hot. Sandy Meadow. When you two come back to yourself, the sun has already set, and only the residual red rays of dust are falling on the both of you. However, right now, you only have each other in your eyes. Sorry, I accidentally missed the sunset that you carefully planned. Artem hears your insincere apology, yet the smile in his eyes is as deep as the incoming night. He silently hugs you tight and whispers next to your ear.
気にするな。この世界の主役は君で、他の全ては君の引き立て役なんだ。あの日の夕日に感動したのも、君に会いたいという気持ちにさせてくれたからだ。
When did Artem get so good at sweet talk? Is it also because of the race? While you are distracted, Artem leans over unexpectedly and lightly nips your lips. Oh,
こんな時に気を散らすなんて、お仕置きだ。
as soon as he sees those, his heated, moist lips covers yours again.
おはよう。ん？起きたばかりか？髪が跳ねているようだが。気にする必要はないし、むしろ悪くはない。と、それで要件の方だが、実は国際レース連盟から別の大会のオファーが来たんだ。世界有数のレースの街、セシラで開催されるらしい。それで調べてみたところ、開催中は現地で絶景の夕日が見られるらしく、観光客も多いそうだ。その上、セシラ大会では助手席にも人が乗れるから、次は君も一緒に参加できる。前回は日没を見逃し、レースを体験することもなかったから。そのリベンジも兼ねて、今度こそ一緒に参加してみないか？ん？私の希望？はあ、ここまで言えば伝わると思ったが。 私の現地を取りたいだけみたいだな。なら、言おう。夕日もレースもすべて建前だ。やろうと思えば別にステラ市にいてもできる。私はただ君をどこか知らない街で思い切り抱きしめ感じたいだけだ。もちろんそれ以外も可能ならしたいさ。だから一緒に行ってくれるか？うん、わかった。まずは旅の手配だな。また連絡する。